by the lake, but 73 degrees inland. Saturday, we'll get a chance for some thunderstorms in the afternoon. Falling temperatures will happen later in the evening with a high 57 degrees throughout the day. By the evening, we'll be in that 40-degree temperature range. Sunday, we'll get a chance for some showers, but at night, we'll get a possible snowy mix, and it'll have a high of 45 degrees. And Monday, we'll see a chance for some snow in the morning, and it'll be windy for the rest of the day with the wind chill being in the 20s and a high of 39 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 50 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 49 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 51 degrees. In Milwaukee, it's 43 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:08.
On the field, inside the clubhouse, and everything in between. This is Brewers Weekly. Here's Dominic Cotroneo.
Opening day has come and gone with a dud. Brewers fall today by a 4-2 final. I'm Dom Cotroneo. This is going to be our de facto postgame show for opening day with Brewers Weekly this evening. First time stumbling upon us, welcome in. We're your flagship home for the Brewers 620 WTMJ, live here on the radio, online on WTMJ.com, maybe even on YouTube or on X, wherever you may be taking in the program tonight. Thanks for being here. The phone number, if you want to join in, is 855-616-1620. Again, just save this number in your phone anytime you want to call in to WTMJ. 855-616-1620. Easy enough to remember, right? That's the Saturday Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. Brian Kelly is our producer. No, not that Brian Kelly. Brian is hanging out with us here tonight. We are getting ready to break down a loss. We're going to overreact. We're going to keep our composure. It's going to be okay. They're 0-1. All right, so they won't be 162-0. They can be 161-1. Just saying, mathematically possible. So all of that to be broken down. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to start things off with a game recap here in this first segment. The good, the bad, and the ugly from this game, taking those three categories into what we liked and disliked about Game 1. I want to break down Freddie's outing with a little bit more of a fine-tooth comb. There's some stuff I really liked out of Freddie today. We're also going to talk about the roster later on, now that it is officially set in stone for the Brewers, at least these first 2 weeks or so, because a lot is going to change from now and 15 days away. Then we'll have some overreactions, because, I mean, that's part of the first game of the year. We always overreact, especially the guy at the top of the lineup. We'll take a quick peek around the league to say goodbye as the Brewers are starting things off 0-1 on the season. But there were some bright spots in this one. Most specifically, it's always fun to have a milestone home run for a multitude of reasons. For Vinny Capra, it is his first big league opening day roster. He's always been called up in the middle of the year. He's bounced around to a couple of organizations. It was the story of spring training. He's out of options. He has to perform to make the team. And he has the first home run of the 2025 season, and of course, the first home run in the post-Bob Uecker era. And Lane Grindle was on the call and paid tribute to his old friend and broadcast colleague, the Hall of Famer Bob Uecker.
2-2 is a high fly ball, deep left field. Dominguez back at the track. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Vinny Capra!
That was the biggest highlight of the day for the Brewers offense. Lane Grindle's call here on WTMJ. Congratulations to Vinny. He got the ball back. First big league homer. And the best part of the story of all of it is the fact that his dad is actually a massive Yankees fan. Grew up coming to the old Yankee Stadium. Then he grew up in Florida. So it was a cool moment for him and his family. I know they were all there in the Bronx to see that happen. So that was the main highlight of the game. Wanted to play that call from Lane Grindle here. But a real quick game recap, because this got off on the back foot for Freddie Peralta in this contest. A leadoff home run, but not just any leadoff home run for the Yankees. It was their catcher, Austin Wells, and he made some baseball history by doing so. He's already the first Yankees catcher to ever bat leadoff on opening day. Now he becomes the first Yankee ever to hit a home run, a leadoff home run on opening day. And then finally, he's the first catcher in Major League Baseball history to hit a leadoff home run on opening day. So let me just backtrack all of the stuff that he did and say, it would have only been a home run at Yankee Stadium. It was a right field specialty, first row at Yankee Stadium, 345 feet, I think was the final tally. StatCast tells us a home run in only one ballpark, Yankee Stadium. But hey, it's a home run. Pat Murphy said it after the game as well. Like, hey, we played in that ballpark too, and we didn't get one out either. It was available to us as well. So it's 1-0 Yankees after 1 inning of play, and then with 2 outs in the second inning, Anthony Volpe goes yard to right center field. That one had a little more carry. It would have been out in 9 ballparks, not just the one like Austin Wells had. But then a switch flipped from Freddie Peralta, and we'll break that down coming up a little bit later on in the program. But Freddie would manage to get through 5 innings. In the top of the third, the aforementioned Vinny Capra, he launched his solo home run to left field. Only one ballpark it would not have been a home run in. Take a wild guess. Going once, going twice. It would have hit the monster at Fenway Park. Then the offense then went quiet from the middle innings, from innings 4 to 8. We'll break that down a little bit later, but they had a great opportunity in the 6th inning. This is our first of 3 big plays I want to talk about here on this first segment. In the 6th inning, a leadoff walk to Christian Yelich, but then a bounce out by William Contreras erases Yelly from the bases. Then Hoskins walks on a 10-pitch battle with Carlos Rodon. It ultimately chased Rodon from the game. You've got runners on first and second, 1 out, lefty Tim Hill coming in to face Sal Frelick. He bounces into a fielder's choice as well. Still runners on first and second still for the Crew, and the batter is Joey Ortiz, right-handed hitter. Falls behind 0-2, ultimately hits a dribbling, swinging bunt up the third base line, gets a base hit out of it. Okay, now you're cooking. You got lefty Tim Hill on the mound, bases loaded, 2 outs for scheduled Garrett Mitchell. Instead, Isaac Collins emerged from the dugout, made the big league roster coming out of spring training as a outfield depth for the Brewers, switch hitter, able to hit from the right side. And this is my first bone to pick. And we're going to have bones to pick all year long, and we'll hear Murph talk about it all year long too. But if Garrett Mitchell is able to start the game against a high velo lefty in Carlos Rodon, he was looking great all night. He tipped my cap to Carlos Rodon. Why is Garrett Mitchell not allowed to face Tim Hill, who's a side-arming lefty specialist? I understand that, but it's the 6th inning. This is a guy that you are, allegedly trying to really prop up and say this is going to be someone that is going to take a leap this year. You've got to give him that opportunity to face a lefty. It's not the end of the world. It's not like he's never faced a lefty before in his life. So that's my first big question already 1 game in. Why can't Garrett Mitchell face Tim Hill? Now, Isaac Collins did ended up grounding out. He would hit a double later in the game, but I just don't understand why Garrett had to be hit for there. I think that's a common refrain from Brewers fans across Milwaukee today. But it's still 2-1 after Freddie completes those 5 innings. The next big play we'll talk about is the 7th inning. A leadoff walk by Jared Koenig to the 8-hitter Ben Rice. Leadoff walks are always rally starters, especially so against the bottom third of any lineup. So Rice draws a leadoff walk. Then he wasn't able to put away the bottom hitter, Oswaldo Cabrera, with a 2-2 count on him. He ends up getting a base hit. So runners on first and second and nobody out for the top of the order. You're smelling danger. With 1 out, Judge hit a double down the third base line that literally hit the third base bag, but you sort of buy yourself your own luck. If you don't allow the 8 and 9 hitters to get on ahead of the top of the order, it's usually a lot easier to deal with. And the Brewers felt that brunt with the insurance coming in. That made it 4-2 at the time for the Yankees in the lead as they added a sacrifice fly in there too. But the last big play we'll talk about here, and this will come up in the good, bad, and ugly and in the overreactions, is in the 9th inning, the Brewers are forming a rally against old friend Devin Williams. It all started with a single by Joey Ortiz. Collins then doubled into right center field. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. A walk to pinch hitter Jake Bauers. Bases loaded. Terang hits a deep sac fly to center field. That put runners on the corners with 1 out and 1 run in. So the tying run is aboard. Then Jake Bauers steals during Jackson Churrio's at-bat. Churrio has a 2-1 count, 1 out, runners on 2nd and 3rd. And he was not able to put the ball in play. He ends up striking out 5 times on opening day. 5 times. First time in his career he's even struck out 4 times. Not pretty. He's the first Brewer to ever strike out 5 times on opening day. Then Yelich, the last hope, he ends up striking out on a fastball to end the contest, and the Brewers fall 5-2. Let's break it down a little bit more with the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's how the game went. The Brewers fall by a final of 4-2. Back at it on Saturday for an afternoon game against the Yanks. But let's talk about opening day a little bit more after this on 620 WTMJ.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today.
When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at adventknows.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristen Bry. If you're looking for a new dentist, you should check out my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care. Dr. Michaels is committed to providing you with the highest level of care possible. I can assure you that he will prioritize your needs no matter how sensitive, just like he did with mine. If you're due for a dental visit, Economwalk Dental Care has an $89 new patient special, so you can get the care that you need at an affordable price. In addition to my exam, Dr. Michael's staff provided a gentle, professional cleaning that left my mouth feeling smooth and rejuvenated. Listen, we all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Check out Economwalk Dental Care at drmichaelsdentalcare.com or give them a call at 262-567-7224. Start 2025 on a good note by feeling confident about your smile and go see my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care.
This is Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
I'm Dom Catronio. Thanks for joining us. We're going till 9 o'clock tonight. Brewers Weekly / postgame of opening day. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. 855-616-1620, the Saudi Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. This text from the 262. Dom, do you think having a new first base coach will affect the running game in a negative way? Was Quentin Berry special in that regard, or did Terang and Frelick not run because they couldn't get a good read on Carlos Rodon? Mostly that. And the other thing you have to remember about base stealing, there is a lot of context involved with trying to steal a bag. And when you're in a one-run game, it may seem like, oh, you got to get to second, get yourself in a scoring position. But on the flip side of that coin is it's a pitcher's duel. Every base runner is precious. If you don't think you can get a good jump, don't go. You know, your speed on a single should be able to get you from first to third on your own and then see what you can do and keep fighting from there. I thought Rodon did a really good job mixing up his deliveries, throwing over, using his two pickoffs as much as he could, had some slide slips, had some leg kicks in there, had guys guessing all day. And when you look at last season, obviously an inflated stolen base environment, 21 steals, only 4 caught stealings for him a season ago. So maybe he's a guy that you find that move or you find that tick that makes it, you know, it's like, oh, wait, that means he's going to throw home, and you take a bigger lead and you go. But I think this one was more of a context matters game in that in a one-run game, when base runners are precious, you don't want to run if you're not sure. And yes, Quentin Berry was special in that regard, but I have full trust in Julio Bourbon to continue to keep the Brewers' running reputation alive and keep things going in the right direction. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly from this game. 3 categories to talk about of highlights from this game. The obvious good is Vinny Capra's first big league home run, but I want to take a little bit different of a route here. I pick a good as the bottom half of the order providing, which could also be an ugly, and we'll get to that in a moment. But you look at Joey Ortiz, he had a couple of hits, including one of the hardest hits of the day with the opposite field single in the 9th inning. You also saw Isaac Collins with a double in the 9th inning. Jake Bauers got on base. Capra in the 8th spot hit the home run. Terang got a single off the lefty, also added a sac fly off of Devin Williams. The bottom half of the order producing. Keep that up. I mean, you're not asking for them to move heaven and earth because normally the top half of the order is going to be holding their weight and doing their job in a game. And this is just game 1 of 162. the top half of the lineup is going to rise. The cream always does, and they're going to be just fine. But that's my good, first of all. And we'll talk about Freddie in the next segment. The obvious ones, like Freddie's start today, like Capra's homer, and then the bottom half of the order playing as well as they did. The bad, in my opinion, has to be the top four, right? Going a combined 0 for 15 today at the plate. 3 walks, 2 of them were from Rhys Hoskins, and then of all the strikeouts, 5 of them alone by Jackson Chourio. Do we want to overreact to that? Wait and see. I'm not going to overreact to it. Weird day with the shadows. That's not the only reason he struck out, but hey, if you want to get rid of a sophomore slump real quick, you can only go up from here, right? Let's make contact on Saturday and see what Jackson Chourio can do. There's no reason to panic in game 1 of the year. Is it alarming that he goes 0 for 5 and it makes you jump and he makes you go, ooh, what was that? Like, yeah, of course. No one wants to go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, especially after we all were kind of drinking the Kool-Aid of how great his spring training was, nearly hitting 500. There's no reason to freak out, but I truly believe the Brewers win this game with some production out of the top half of this lineup. You're not going to win any game when the top half of your lineup goes 0 for 15. It really sounds like a lot of the playoffs last year when Willy Adames and Rhys Hoskins and others were just kind of nowhere to be found there behind Jackson Chourio. Today, Chourio was not helping his own cause, but hey, it's just one game. There'll be plenty more to learn from there. So that's the bad. The ugly was innings 4 through 8 for the Brewers offense, and here's specifically why. Even when they got that rally against Rodon in the 6th inning and they loaded the bases and ultimately weren't able to cash in innings 4 through 8, they did not hit a single ball out of the infield. Could that be weather-related? Could that be wind-related? Could that be shadow-related? Who knows? But the truth is they did not hit a ball out of the infield from innings 4 to 8. Now, they got going again in the 9th when Devin, of all people, showed up to pitch, but that's a little alarming. Let's make sure while there's a balance to, hey, put the ball in play at all costs, good things happen when you do so, and swinging at pitches that are pitchers' pitches, but it's game 1. We're not overreacting. More on that segment a little bit later on. But I think when you look at the offense in this game, it's not going to exactly get easier on Saturday against Max Fried, another left-hander, and he's more of a take uncomfortable swings, not a strikeout pitcher per se, like Carlos Rodon. Now, I'm not saying Max Fried is not going to get strikeouts, but Max Fried wants you to get yourself out and swing at pitches you're not supposed to. Swing at strikes that become balls, or take balls that become strikes, and just sort of keep you on your heels of just, oh, wait, what was that? I mean, last season, with some injuries in there, 174 innings, only 166 strikeouts. He's always been a sub 9 strikeouts per 9 guy ever since his really great year in 2020, when in that season he was 8 strikeouts per 9 in the shortened season in 56 innings. But he's still going to get strikeouts, don't get me wrong, but when you come to average exit velocity against, it's below league average as far as he allows a lot of weak contact. He has an elite ground ball rate at 58%. And again, that's the starter on Saturday. We could see a lot of ground balls coming on Saturday with Max Fried versus Nestor Cortez. I can't wait for that one. So if you're feeling discouraged about facing a lefty and the lack thereof of offense today, well, another one is coming on Saturday. And I'm intrigued to see, like we just talked about in the first segment, pinch hitting Garrett Mitchell. Is Garrett going to start on Saturday? I hope he does. He needs to get reps against lefties. Point blank, end of story. If Isaac Collins gets in there, your defense gets worse because he's an experienced enough outfielder. He'll play left field. Frelick will play center, and Chourio would play right. Mind you, left center field at Yankee Stadium is quietly one of the hardest defensive outfields to play. Aside from the obvious, like Fenway Park with the Green Monster or the Ivy at Wrigley, Yankee Stadium is deep to left center field. That's a lot of ground to cover, and you want to keep your speed intact between Garrett and Chourio on that left center field gap to try to track down everything you can. Whereas you look at today, Trent Grisham and Aaron Judge trying to track down Collins' double that one-hop the wall. He smoked it, don't get me wrong. But Trent Grisham isn't the defender he once was. He does not have the same speed he once was. Aaron Judge certainly wasn't getting that ball. defense really does matter in the outfield at Yankee Stadium. I know we all get wrapped up in right field there. Left center field is really tough to defend, and I'm intrigued what they're going to do on Saturday against another lefty in Max Fried. So that's my good, bad, and ugly. Let's take out the comb and kind of go through Freddie's outing today. What did I like? What did I dislike? What did you think about it? 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Catch more Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ. Wisconsin's morning news is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
Milwaukee Public Schools begin the week with more lead remediation, a new superintendent, and a court-ordered deadline.
Eric Billstad.
March in Wisconsin means snowfall and wildfires can happen just days apart.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
We've got eastbound 94 closed in Jefferson County.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's morning news on WTMJ.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spin Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
The Lifetime Door free garage door contest is almost over. Time is running out to win a brand new garage door from Lifetime Door. Absolutely free. This contest ends March 31st. Don't miss the chance to win a stunning, high-quality garage door that will boost your home's curb appeal and value. Entering is easy. Text GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, or just go to WTMJ.com and the entry form is on the very front page. It's just that simple. For contest rules, visit our website, WTMJ.com.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Second consecutive opening day start for Freddie Peralta. He actually takes the loss today because the Brewers never tied or took the lead after he exited the game. So he's 0-1, but here's his final line in today's 4-2 loss to the Yankees. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, more on that in a moment, 8 strikeouts, 2 solo home runs, 93 total pitches, 58 strikes, 14 swings and misses. That's a 33% whiff rate when you divide the swings and misses by the total swings of the game. That's elite. It's very good. It's right on par with what Freddie Peralta is known for. What Freddie Peralta is not known for, though, is his changeup. And we saw his changeup be his most used secondary pitch today, including a good, healthy handful of them right on right. And the one that is seared in my brain is the right on right changeup he got Aaron Judge to swing and miss at for his 5th strikeout of the game. This was back in the 3rd inning. This was a great at-battle. The whole sequence was fantastic. Judge hadn't swung yet, took ball 1, takes strike 1 and strike 2, misses then on ball 2, and then ultimately gets him on a changeup down and in underneath the hands. Beautiful pitch from Freddie Peralta. If he is not afraid to deliver a right-on-right changeup to somebody like Aaron Judge and execute it like he did there, and he ultimately, the last batter he faced was also Judge. His last strikeout, his 8th fastball, challenged him. Man, I think the changeup's going to be a really, really big pitch for him this year because that will act as something to set up his fastball even better. Just look at the 2 at-bats between the changeup in the 3rd and then the fastballs in the fifth. We all knew that was going to be Freddie Peralta's final batter today in the fifth inning, with Judge up, lefty in the bullpen, Brian Hudson warming up behind him with Cody Bellinger on deck. He went right after him. First three pitches were all fastballs, including getting a foul ball and a swing and a miss on a pitch that was kind of middle in. He got away with one. But attacking with the fastball because he was set up by the changeup. Those two pitches are going to work in tandem this season. When you're able to sit on heater or something that's breaking away from you, that's where some teams would have a lot of success against Freddie Peralta. Understanding his sequencing is he's not really going to get me soft down. So if I see the fastball out of the hand, it's going to be a fastball out of the hand. He doesn't throw many changeups. But if he suddenly flips that script, I mean, today he threw the changeup 27% of the time, still 50+% fastballs, which is very normal for him. But the rest of it were breaking balls between curves and sliders. That just keeps everybody a little bit more honest about, got to think about that for a second. And quite frankly, the leadoff home run he gave up to Austin Wells on a 2-0 pitch, a 2-0 fastball, they didn't quite get at the top of the zone like he wanted. Wells got on top of it. Maybe that would have been a good spot for the changeup. And I literally had a conversation about this with Pat Murphy last week at the end of spring training, where we're seeing so many traditional fastball counts just become get the guy out counts. Maybe that would have been an opportunity for Freddie to toss the changeup, but given it was the first batter of the game, two fastballs had already missed. Maybe he's, overthinking it. Kind of your wheels are spinning in the rocking Yankee Stadium. Hindsight, whatever. If the changeup moves the way it did today, sign me up for a full season of that out of Freddie Peralta. The other big thing about this, only one walk for Freddie today. We all know what he's capable of when he is in and around the strike zone. I mean, he had multiple walks in virtually every start last season. And I mentioned this in the pregame show. His start last year was really encouraging, knowing what he's capable of, given those first 6-7 starts or so of the year where he was right around a 2 ERA. He was striking out 10 per 9. He was on a great pace for the season and then hit a speed bump there in late May, early June, and really kind of had inconsistencies throughout the year. If you're telling me, 5 innings today, totally fine. First start of the year. He had 93 high leverage pitches today against a very good lineup. If you can tell me you can get into or past the 6th inning in the future because of this start, his next start will be against the Royals on Wednesday, I imagine, Tuesday or Wednesday, I imagine. Go do it again, man. Do this exact formula again against the Royals, and I think you'll have just as much success against them. Now, there are some powerful right-handed hitters in that lineup, just like with Aaron Judge. I mean, you've got to worry about Bobby Witt Jr., you've got to worry about Salvi Perez still. You got the big Sasquatch in Vinny Pasquantino over there, but I saw a great formula today for Freddie Peralta's success. And there's one particular inning that I thought was really important to him in the way that, yes, bottle this up and make sure this is a big part of your season. When I go back to the 4th inning, he has a big battle with Cody Bellinger to start the frame. It's a 1-run ball game at this point. Bellinger wins the battle on an 8th pitch with a single through the right side after fouling off 3 consecutive 2-strike pitches. Then he goes from 0-2 to 3-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. I know we've all heard about this. Oh, no. 0-2 to 3-2. Freddie's throwing more pitches. He's starting to get out of it, getting out of his reach. Paul Goldschmidt has tortured the Brewers for years, whether it's in a Diamondbacks or a Cardinals jersey, and he bounces back and strikes him out on a changeup. This is what I'm talking about. Do something different and get new results. And I also tweeted it in his last spring training tune-up. Freddie has moved all the way over to the third base side of the rubber. And I wonder if that has something to do with the natural cut on his fastball, to find some more fastball command there, let everything move to the glove side naturally, and the changeup fall off of that to help create some separation even more between the two pitches. Because the changeup is thrown pretty hard, 88 to 90 miles an hour, pretty hard for changeup standards in today's game. But escaping that 0-2 to 3-2 trap and getting Goldschmidt to strike out told me everything I needed to know. Freddie's got this under control. Let's hope for the best for him for the rest of the season. Up next, let's overreact, shall we? What are overreactions? What are not overreactions? One game in, let's hit the panic button. I'm just kidding. Back with more after this on WTMJ.
More Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
You're going to get a free furnace from Quality. No gimmick. You'll get a free furnace. This is Anthony Zanevsky. All you have to do is purchase a heat pump from Quality, and you'll get a free furnace. And this heat pump is not only going to give you 2 sources of heat and a backup, but also the heat pump will act as an AC system to cool your home as well. It's extremely efficient. I have a heat pump in my own home, and this I know. Your heat pump will cut your energy bills substantially. You'll be getting a top-of-the-line heat pump system and a free furnace. And you'll save thousands plus qualifying government incentives. So now, through March 31st, you'll get a heck of a deal from Quality. This is the only time of the year we can do this. So call Quality, and let's get you taken care of. Get your free furnace and upgrade your home's HVAC system to absolute max efficiency. Buy a heat pump from Quality, and you'll get a free furnace through March 31st.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Petronio. Next broadcast will be Saturday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's that built-in rain-out day in case it were to rain today like we saw last year for Brewers and Mets. So enjoy the off day tomorrow. Hang out, relax, go watch some college basketball or something. But we'll be on the air at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning for a 12:05 Central Time first pitch. Brewers, Yankees, Nestor Cortez facing his old club against the aforementioned Max Fried. I've got Brewers warm-up from 11 to 11:30. Network coverage will take you from 11:30 to 12:05 first pitch. And then on Sunday, a little bit later, it'll be a 12:35 first pitch on Sunday. No pregame from me. We'll have network pregame coverage coming up at noon on Sunday. We will have post-game shows for both Saturday and Sunday, so no waiting. Right after the network ends, we are on for post-game. And if you aren't familiar, you can catch all of these in podcast form. Brewers All Access. We've got a ton of spring training coverage from there, too. Catch up on some of those episodes, some of those interviews, including the likes of Reese Hoskins, Aaron Ashby, Brandon Woodruff, Eric Haas, Chad Patrick, who made the opening day roster today. More on that in a moment, but a lot of good stuff in the podcast feed. Brewers All Access. Okay, let's hit the panic button, shall we? What are our overreactions? I got 3 of them here to the first 3 games, or the first game of the season. First of all is Jackson Chourio. Oh no, the sophomore slump. Here it is. They all know how to figure him out. Oh my gosh, he went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. What are we going to do, Dom? Here's why we're not going to panic. Jackson Chourio saw a little bit of everything today, and today was a wake-up call. Hey man, you're not a secret anymore. You're not a good, feel-good story anymore. There are entire jobs in Major League Baseball around getting hitters out, game planning, scouting report, figuring things out. Today, Jackson Chourio struck out on each of the following pitches. A slider from Rodon, a changeup from Rodon, a slider from Rodon, a splitter from Mark Leiter, and a changeup from Devin Williams. None of those are fastballs. In fact, I'm pulling up the list right now of all the pitches he saw today. I don't think he saw very many fastballs today, just going out on a limb. But even yet, he did swing and miss at a couple of fastballs I remember he would have loved to have had back. I'm pulling it up now. 5 at-bats today for Jackson Chourio. In total, he saw 13, 16, 21, 24 pitches today. Of those 24 pitches, he only saw 4 fastballs. 4 out of 24 pitches, 4 fastballs. Welcome to year 2, Jackson. Let's see how quickly he's able to make that adjustment. Because I'll also remind you, last season, Churio was just as good against breaking balls and off speed as he was against fastballs. Last year, 283 batting average on heaters, 272 on breaking balls. Okay, that's within 11 points. That's very good for breaking balls. He hit 8 homers on fastballs, 9 on breaking balls. His WOBA, weighted on base average, it's basically a fancier on base percentage. His WOBA on fastballs, 346. His WOBA on breaking balls, 330. His WOBA on changeups, 331. All above league average, well above league average. So I'm not going to panic. Today caught up to him quickly. Make the adjustment. See how many fastballs he sees on Saturday against Max Fried and company. Overreaction number 2. Yelich going 0 for. Oh, no. He's never going to be the same after this back surgery, huh? Oh, no. Oh, no. 0 for 4. 2 strikeouts and a walk today for Yelly. Here's why I'm especially not saying oh no for Yelly. In fact, I'm even more encouraged now after what I saw today and after what we saw in spring training. Yelly lined out in the 3rd inning with a man aboard. That was a line out to center field. One of the reasons I'm excited about it is Yelly's bat speed on that. And we can overreact to bat speed. It's still a very new stat, but it matters. Yelly had the 6th fastest bat speed of any swing, singular swing today in the game. You know who had the fastest swing today? Garrett Mitchell. Reinforcing my point, he should have been able to hit against Tim Hill. I digress. Not his call, Pat Murphy's call. But Yelly's lineout was a 78-mile-an-hour swing speed. Anything over 75 is considered fast. So consider like 75-mile-an-hour bat speed is like a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It's like, ooh, okay, you're bringing it. 78, 77.8 for picking hairs. 77.8, coming off of back surgery. The dude's healthy. I'm excited. I'm very excited. No reason to overreact to him going 0 for 4. I think there is going to be some power popping up here with a few more game reps. He's still knocking off rust. It's going to be a little bit, and we're going to hear all the cliches, just trying to make sure that he's healthy by the end of the season, and he is clearly healthy at the beginning of the year. And then finally, overreaction number 3. Oh my gosh, they can't beat a lefty. Why can't they beat a left-handed pitcher? I mean, the starter was lefty, and the guy that shut him down in the 6th inning was lefty too, Tim Hill. Fair critique. The Brewers were a .500 team against left-handed starters last season. And quite frankly, this was part of the drama of whether or not Mark Canha was going to make this team. Mark Canha ultimately traded to the Royals. They did not think he was going to make the team. They decided to keep Jake Bauers. Jake Bauers does not play against left-handed pitching generally, which means Rhys Hoskins is going to be your primary thump, along with William Contreras, against left-handed pitchers this year. Going to monitor that all year long, because maybe come trade deadline time, the thing that the Brewers are going to be most especially shopping, and if we're projecting it out now, we're not overreacting, but we're monitoring. Can they get some better power from the right side? Or is Joey Ortiz going to step up and be a little bit more of a traditional right-handed power bat? Now, he's not playing third base anymore, which is normally a position of power. Shortstops, like he's not Willy Adames, but he's no slouch either. He's got double-digit homer power. He can get 15 homers in there. I really do believe that in only his 2nd full season in the show. We're going to monitor their struggles against lefties to this point in the year. We're going to look around the league a little bit later, but up next, let's get a firm reaction to the roster. We talked about it in the pregame. We had that episode 2 days ago of just predicting the roster. We were right. So let's talk about it. Actually reacting to what the opening day roster is and what could change 15 days from now. I'll explain coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Back with more Brewers Weekly after this.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action. And the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 5-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Team up with the Brewers for an epic company event this season. Gather your crew of just 15 or more for a Brewers group outing and trade weekday meetings for a fun-filled day at American Family Field. Featuring options like tailgate spaces, all-inclusive areas, seating blocks, and more. Plus, Brewers ticket representatives will make planning your event easy, as they'll be your concierge while you book your event. Start planning your company outing today at brewers.com/groups.
It's Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Got a couple segments left, only about 8 minutes to do it, so let's go into turbo mode here. I'm Dom Catronio. Brewers Weekly, reacting to opening day here on WTMJ. Brewers fall by a final of 4-2. But before the game, we saw the official roster release of what the Brewers are going to roll with here at the start of the year. First headline to talk about is the actual move to get Jake Bauers onto the 40-man roster, and that was designated Brewer Hicklin for assignment, a reserve outfielder. He was already optioned to AAA Nashville at the start of the year using his final option year. But Brewer now finding himself on the outside looking in. He's subjected to waivers. If he clears waivers, he could stay in the organization in AAA as an outfielder, as depth, but he would be off the 40-man roster. So that's how Bauers gets onto the roster. Another note about this opening day roster is Abner Uribe is on it, meaning they are starting the year, as we predicted on Wednesday, serving his suspension. We got the hint that this would be the way the Brewers are leaning come the middle of spring training. You know, they were deciding between the beginning of the year or the end of April, and they ultimately decided to just get it out of the way as soon as possible. You know what? Now that I've had some time to digest it, I think this is absolutely the right call. So with the off day tomorrow, you're essentially able to use everybody you pitched today out of the bullpen on Saturday, right? You can use, Payamps only threw 2 pitches. He's certainly available on Saturday. Tyler Alexander only threw 1 inning. Granted, you might want to keep him fresh for something on Monday if he has to start there, or maybe Chad Patrick is going to start there now. We'll talk about him in a second. And then you've still got Brian Hudson available. Jared Koenig, I'm sure, would like to get back on the bus and get himself back right after having the tough 7th inning against the Yankees. But I think with what the Brewers have, with Uribe coming back on Tuesday, missing his 4 games. He'll miss the home opener, too. But, boom, that's another arm that can help out your rotation because you're not allowed to replace that arm. And with Uribe back, that's a leverage righty that still needs to prove it, quite frankly, for a longer period of time than just the second half of the 2023 season. I know the Brewers are excited about his development, and the best way to develop is in the big leagues. And he'll find out real quick what he's made of. Keep his cool, keep his demeanor in check. I'm not saying he shouldn't be boisterous and excited, but he needs to find out a way to keep himself on the field and not fight Jose Siri. And the Brewers don't face the Mets until July. Next up on this roster reaction is the fact that Jose Quintana, Tobias Myers, and Brandon Woodruff and Aaron Ashby are all on the 15-day IL, meaning they should be back before the end of May. That's the reading the tea leaves here, is that they would put them on the 60-day IL if they felt they weren't going to be back sooner than 60 days. And in the case of Jose Quintana, it sounds like, for him, I should also correct myself, Quintana's not on the 15-day IL. He accepted a minor league option in order to build up and be ready to rejoin the team. So they can essentially snap their fingers and bring him up whenever they want, whenever they get what they need out of Chad Patrick, whatever they need out of Elvin Rodriguez. Those guys have options remaining. Whereas Tobias should be back in April. Woodruff could be back in May if he continues to trend upward. Minor league season starts a week from tomorrow down in AAA Nashville. So keep an eye out on that. And we'll also effort an update on Aaron Ashby's throwing program sooner as opposed to later. So I just wanted to put some roster thoughts together here. And now we'll go around the league and get ready to say goodnight and prepare you for the weekend that is opening weekend. Brewers fall today, but try to go back to 500 tomorrow, right after this on 620 WTMJ.
Catch more Brewers Weekly coming up on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik.
And Steve Scafidi.
Join us for the Brewers home opener March 31st. It's opening day with WTMJ.
We'll be broadcasting live from American Family Field, getting you ready for opening day and leading you up to first pitch.
The traditions of opening day, tailgating, the brats on the grill. Opening day with WTMJ.
It's opening day with WTMJ, sponsored by Woodman's.
We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
You know, most mulch is reclaimed from landfills, but Erickson's mulch is ground from whole trees. Yep, we process the mulch ourselves to keep the prices nice and low, and use only premium colorant so the beautiful look of new mulch lasts. At Erickson's, we never skimp, and that's why first-time shoppers become repeat customers. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. How do we keep our prices so low? That's easy. We've removed the middlemen. Yep, most landscape suppliers have a couple of them in there, and that's okay. But each one of those men in the middle means a higher cost for your mulch, decorative stone, flagstone, and boulders. Feel free to check around. For the quality of our products, you won't find better prices. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Pain can make you feel like no matter what you try, it's not going to work. Or it can make you try any and everything. And most times, that'll make you feel like you've been taken for a ride. It's hard to believe that there's a solution to your pain problem that works, is safe, and is actually affordable. But that's why most insurance plans pay for pain treatments from Rejuvenex, because they're FDA approved and they do work. Toradol and hyaluronic acid work together to substantially alleviate your pain. And we've seen patients experience pain relief for greater than 2 years after completing a series of treatments. Is it a one and done? No. But at as low as $65 per joint? It's an affordable alternative to surgery. And it's not an expensive cross your fingers and hope it works experiment. Especially for older pain sufferers, the pain treatment that Rejuvenex offers is worth trying, because the vast majority of patients who do live better lives in a lot less pain. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Brewers Weekly on WTMJ.
Got about 2.5 minutes to whip around the league here on this opening day. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Let's wrap up the program looking at the out-of-town scoreboard. Starting here in the division, only one team victorious so far, and that is the St. Louis Cardinals. They defeat the Twins 5-3. Kind of cruised in this one. Lars Nootbaar homered. Harrison Bader homered. Cardinals are the only 1-0 team in the Central at this point because the Pirates lost a walk-off against the Marlins. Kyle Stowers, a walk-off double to win it for Miami. That was a dramatic come-from-behind victory as they were trailing entering the 8th inning and came back to win 5-4. The Cubs are underway right now. They're taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Justin Steele against Zach Gallen. I should say that game starts in about 15 minutes time. Also here in the Central Division, the Reds bullpen, Ian Jabot struggles today, gives it up against the Giants as San Francisco goes into Cincinnati, spoils the parade, and they win 6-4. Congratulations to former Brewers bench coach Walker McKinven and Will Venable, former pupil of Pat Murphy, back with the Padres. White Sox win their first game of the year 8-1. Austin Slater homered. Andrew Benintendi homered in that one. So the White Sox are 1-0. They are fired up. How about the next opponent for the Brewers? The Royals coming up on Monday. Royals fall at home in extra innings to the Guardians. Kyle Manzardo had himself a day. Maybe you should pick him up in your fantasy leagues. Red Sox defeat the Rangers by a 5-2 final. Wilyer Abreu had himself a day. Reached base all 4 times at the plate. Also added a home run there. Orioles slugfest over the Blue Jays 12-2. They hit 6 total home runs in that one. Phillies over the Nationals in extra innings today, too. Kyle Schwarber homered. JT Realmuto had the go-ahead triple to win it. Also, the Padres defeat the Braves 7-4. Gavin Sheets made the team. He hit a home run. The Astros over the Mets 3-1. And just went final. The Dodgers defeated the Tigers 5-4. Shohei hit another home run. We will be back on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. for Brewers warm-up, 12:05 first pitch. I'm Dom Catronio. Keep on swinging.
TMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less